So we're going to start this tune-up on this 08 Taurus X. It's got a 6-cylinder in it, so we're going to have to take off. I've already started taking this off. There's a clip here and a clip here, and then that pops out. Disconnect your mass airflow. And then we're going to get started on the stuff back here, because in order to get to the rear cylinders, we need to take this upper plenum off. So you want to disconnect this vacuum hose up here. And then see if I can do this one-handed. There's a little clip here. You just want to pull back and it should allow it to pop off. There we go. I've already loosened up this screw. So that should allow us to get this whole intake out of the way. So now we're going to lift up on this red tab and then push. That unlocks it. And then push in and that'll slide off so the throttle body is disconnected. You just pinch him and he'll come right off like that. I have already disconnected it on that side. As you can see, it's just a little push-in pin, so we'll just let that guy sit up back there for now. And I got these out. These are just pushed in with these little Christmas trees. They're like interior things. They're pushed right into there. So we got those out of the way. There was a clamp right there. There was a bolt that you can see sticking out right there. There's another hose back there. We have the intake bolts out, or the manifold bolts out. This one has to come off. This is for the fuel rail. I just stuck it back in. And then there you can see that's the one that hung us up, just that little guy right there. So just to go over this while it's out, there is the plug for the throttle body. There's the clip above the throttle body. There's a hose clamp there. And there's a hose clamp there. This goes to a bracket. And then you have your perimeter bolts here. That is all for your intake manifold. This little guy right here was that little plug. So we taped off the lower intake manifold. We do not want any dirt or anything going down in there. And we also blew all this out so that way it looked like some rats or something may have gotten in there. So what we're going to do next is, where Wayne's looking it up, we're going to number these so we know which ones they are, because we're also having a problem with one of the coils. So to get these off, you just pull this red part down. That's the lock. And then you push down on the tab and she should come right off. There we go. So I took all these out. Every motor, or every bolt on this motor I took out is an 8mm, so you're going to need that for sure. And then I unplugged them all, so now we can pull the coils out.
Put some of the dielectric grease in, just to help make a better contact. And I'm going to anti-seize all these plugs. Well, the gap, they're the, where are they? They're iridium plugs, and you're really not supposed to use a gapper in there, because you wipe off or flatten the tips out on these. So I kind of just eyeball them up and compare them. As long as I don't see any flattened electrodes or anything like that, we're good. So I'm just going to use my socket here and put the plugs, start putting the plugs in. I'll finish tightening this spark plug up. Alright, spark plugs in. Now just install the coil. Easy enough to just slide right in. Bolt on. And put the connector back on, lock it in. Going over the bolts now for the intake. I mean, you could look up a torque spec, but I'm just going by feel. What most of us do anyway. Okay, then we got a bolt back here too. There's a bracket. Line it up. It's a little hard to see.
Also, this hose right here, you can not take that hose clamp off. Just be careful when you're taking it out, because you can slip it right off the bottom.
Just push these clips in. And that's, looks like the evap line's back on. There's a hose back here and there's a connector. That's which I got already on before. I dropped down the intake, bolt the fuel rail. Line them up. Yeah, that's all done with. Air hose and hook up the rest of these vacuum lines here. Okay, got that on. Another clip back here, just pushes over. And got that on, and then I believe this was the only vacuum line which went right here. Got the connector here. This breather hose, it just pushes right on and then it locks in.